Why are Mary Sues almost always written by a female writer? Before, I've had thoughts very similar to many other answers about it being a prejudice combined with the Mary part of the name, versus Gary, but I've recently been reading a lot of popular web novels and noticed a trend that I dropped novels with female protagonists quite often because they were just the kind of, well, Mary Sue, that was frustrating to read. I've noticed one distinct difference between male and female protagonists in these webseries. I can like or stomach powerful over even overpowered men, because their growth and powers are a series of interlinked gifts, powers and growth spurts that are logical enough to be gained or found or searched for based on the situation, versus increasingly powerful or hurdles, opponents and problems. I dropped many female protagonist stories because their growth and power are a collection of separate gifts, powers and growth spurts from which some come out of nowhere and presented to them unearned. Of course, this is hardly an absolute trend. There are plenty of male protagonists that suffer the same issue and which I dropped, and women that aren't following this trend yet get labeled a Mary Sue for other reasons. But when looking at stories that have a significant fan-chosen popularity, so not by advertisement or company, the above is a distinct difference I noticed between male and female protagonists in practice. Spoiler warnings: I'll mention the title of the series first but won't be mentioning spoiler warning every time. Be warned. I'll be referring mostly to Royal Road novels. Arrogant Young Master Template. A Variation 4, for example, features an overpowered protagonist, but not a Gary Sue. And he is overpowered in a lot of ways. Filthy rich, quite powerful already, ridiculously powerful henchmen at his disposal and allies in his corner, great foresight and focus, and a ridiculously broken system that allows him to learn and understand things in a matter of seconds where others will literally need centuries to get a lesser variant of what he does. Most times, Mary Sues are self-inserts of the author. Take Bella Swan, the protagonist of Twilight, for example. Bella is described as having clear, pale skin, brown hair with a tint of red, brown eyes and being slender. Women generally also write their characters in the sense that those characters have no flaws, such as Celaena Sardothien of Throne of Glass. I admit, I haven't fully read it. I got through 3.5 chapters before the character's obsession with herself got too much. But to put it simply, Celaena, at 18 years old, is the best assassin in the world, and then she was captured, and then set free by a handsome prince. Sounds familiar, like the plot has been done 1,000 times before. Which brings me to absolutely stupid names. Unique names are cool, but Celaena? Why not just name her Selena? Seriously. Both men and women do it, but it's often pointed out more when women and kids do it. Young writers and artists very often do it when they create their first original characters for whatever TV show, movie, anime, video game, or media they're into. I like to think of it as the same reason comic book artists, who are traditionally men, often depict superheroes as these hyper-muscular strongmen who are honored and somehow worthy of that honor, even if they really don't deserve it. This isn't bought up as much, but many superheroes are written and/or depicted as Gary Stuss, the male version of a Mary Sue. The superhero genre is kind of centered around this, an idealization of masculinity and the concept of a perfect man.